Hi guys, it's Hazel. Welcome to my channel and welcome to day 53 of the 100-day challenge. This video is going to be very short because this idea is stolen straight from our grade school days. I have the camera, I'll just gently pull it a little closer to me to show you that I have taped down, using painter's tape, I've taped down the edge of these strips. What I'm using here for this basket weave paper project are washi tape strips, faux washi tape strips from the Graphics Fairy, and this is the premium membership site. So this is the author's kit, and there were 3 pages included that included washi tape in a variety of sizes. I didn't cut out these narrowest ones, but you can see that there's, if I could pick it up, this size, and of course this size. So I printed a sheet of each of those and cut them up and began the weaving process. So in order to keep things intact, like I say, I taped it down here with painter's tape, and I used the wide ones as my base, and I'm weaving the narrower ones in. So I'll just do another row or so. I'm sure that that this is not, this is going to take you back in time to school days, and of course it's just a case of gently weaving over and under. Now, I have turned the studio upside down today, looked in every conceivable place to find some woven paper that I had done before, and it wasn't using washi, this faux washi tape that you can get in digital form, but it was using, actual strips of paper. And that is frankly a little bit harder because, of course, you kind of want your strips to be somewhat uniform. And if they're not, it just creates additional problems. And of course, with this, it probably won't be perfect, but I think the fact that I've taped it down keeps these verticals from moving. And of course, when I'm done, I'll also tape down the sides to hold it intact until I can get it to probably a sewing machine. So obviously, the more accurate you are in the trimming and the more carefully you sort of, pull down, get this snugged up against, the previous row, the better, the more stable it'll be, and the better it will likely look in the end. So I'm not really thinking very hard about what strip to use next, other than probably being a little bit conscious of, light and dark. Don't have all the light ones together and all the dark ones together, but try to spread them out somewhat evenly. Now, because the patterns are the same in both directions, there will be some tying in of those elements. And I'll also cut off the surplus on this right-hand side and, of course, do something with them as well. So you're probably thinking to yourself, well, why bother? I've got enough paper. Whole sheets, partial sheets, the strips, you name it, I've got it, kind of thing. And that's true, we all do. But I think that there is, there's just something different about this. And it's just another variation on the same old. So what I did with, and of course that's why I was having more trouble looking in more places, what I did with the other one that I had made before was, you know, kind of tape the edges to hold it all together till I could get it to a sewing machine, and then sewed the perimeter off the square or rectangle, whatever it was, so that it stayed, you know, relatively, it kept its shape is basically what I'm trying to say. And then, of course, it can be used any way that you would any piece of paper. So it could be, you know, the basis of a tag. It could be, I think just because of the potential snagging on the different, you know, over-under pieces, that that backing it is pretty well a necessity. And that, of course, gives more options in terms of, you know, the final use for the piece of paper. So once it's backed, it could be a tag, it could be a journaling card, and so on. So that is all I have in terms of pre-cut papers. So maybe what I'll do, try to snug this up a bit. I'm going to just run a bit of tape along the edge here. Yeah, because that little bit that extends, that won't be part of where I sew. So it doesn't matter if my tape goes right up to that first row. Because that's where it'll be trimmed. So I think what I'll do on this side is just quickly grab a ruler and a knife and trim this edge so I can tape it as well. Again, it's this is no genius project or anything. It's just another option for a thing to do with either these sorts of pages in kits that you buy, or strips of paper that you already have, but like I say, probably want a bit of uniformity in the size. Okay, I will tape. Oh, see, why didn't I? And you were probably yelling at me. Why didn't I have a little extension like I do on this side? Anyway, too late for that now, but maybe what I'll do is rip this the long way. Just catch the very edge off the paper so that this, you know, so my finished product doesn't end up a lot smaller than I intended. So here on this side, I will leave a little extension. Line up. It doesn't look particularly even, does it? Anyway, this is just to be able to get it to the sewing machine. Whoopsie. And of course, all of these strips can be used either in collage or to decorate tags, or I just want to pull that one in if I can. Straighten it up a bit. No, it's not, of course, the same thing that I'm talking about here. But another thing that I came across as I was searching was something like this, which are discard pieces of paper, some scrapbooking paper. This came out of a cookbook. I remember that. I'm not sure what this is, but you know, sort of overlapping them very little and then running a line of stitching down them is a good idea. You can see that my stitching was kind of hit and miss, and that's probably why this has never been used. It's still kicking around, but again, you know, I could trim that off, square it up. I could tear it in between. Okay, this is kind of wrecked here anyway. Why don't we just do that? Ooh. You know, that could be part, side of the page decoration or whatever. I want to also have a ragged edge here. So, of course, the same thing could be done with, if you don't have access to washi tape pages like those, you know, because if a person doesn't buy digitals or whatever, then this is another option for a way to use strips, and also could easily do the weaving that I've already talked about. Let me just cut this off. So, you know, something like that. And I think I'm going to stop there because I need to gingerly pick this up and get it to the sewing machine. I think another thing that would probably work, maybe that's what I should do instead, because it's going to be pretty hard to, I can just put a smidge of glue on here. That was more than a smidge. That will help secure, and it will actually, so why did I bother taping it? The tape was essential for that very first row because I wanted it straight and flush and all of that, but for this part, the gluing is actually smarter. So rewind and pretend you never heard that. Okay, so then that could go to the sewing machine. Should do the same on this side. And of course, there is some risk with tape. Now this is low tack painter's tape, but, oh, and because I extended it, or because it was extended, whoops, not there. Might be simpler to put it on this surface. Yeah, this is the author's kit. I didn't print out the rest of it yet, but of course I do want to, one of these days, pick a kit of some sort, either through the Graphics Fairy site or, you know, a purchased kit to just take a project from start to finish. And as a rule, I don't, that's not exactly how I work, because okay, that's glued down. I'm going to put I hope you can see that. I'm just anchoring the outer row all around. Yeah, forget that taping idea. See, if you weren't here, I wouldn't have to keep confessing the mistakes. See, there was a little give there. Now there won't be over here. Heck, I should have split the difference. Oops. Yeah, so you can try your best and still it will be probably a little bit out. So that is kind of cool. Now, of course, it needs trimming. I might as well do that now. Look a little more finished. Yeah, if I could have found that sample, you would have seen it, you know, stitched up. Maybe I should do one more step and add a little titch of glue to these pieces that are sticking up. Again, it'll just keep things more secure for the sewing. I don't know what you can see. It's funny, we had, I was talking about it in another video, we had a heat wave, you know, temperatures plus 30 Celsius, beginning of May, which is unheard of, which is about a month sooner than you'd even consider something like that. So, of course, we uncovered the air conditioners and fired them up. We have two out, like we have central air, but because we did the addition, we have two air conditioners just to cover the square footage. So last night, because it got cooler and the wind was kind of a little bit, you know, had been blowing for days, it seemed, and the house never, and there really hadn't been any sun to speak of, I ended up having to turn it back to heat to warm up the bedroom a bit for sleeping. So yeah, I don't think we or our furnaces know what's going on here, because the weather is just so erratic. And I don't particularly like the heat, so I'm thinking to myself, holy cow, if it's 30, 31 in May, what in the world will it be like by June or July, or by July or August? That would really be unbearable. So anyway, there you have it. This might be one of those things where just to catch more of the edges. That could be kind of an interesting signature page. And of course, if I would have printed more of the, you know, a couple more pages of the strips, I could have made a bigger finished product here. But yeah, I think this one maybe we'll get some crazy stitching all the way around just to secure a few more of these intersections, because, you know, those are potential places for lifting and tearing. So anyway, just wanted to bring you a quick and easy idea today. So thanks for joining me, and yes, day 53 in the bag. Thanks. Bye.